Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. It's been a couple weeks since the last one, so this time I'm going to try and get the cab done at least. So by the time I upload the next video, hopefully we're working on the back, so we're going to try and get the cab done as much as possible today. While keeping it pretty simple and making it look good, I'm going to just pretty much hop right into it. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you drop a message in the comments. I'll respond to it, and then I'll hopefully get another video put up soon. So now let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to mute my mic so we can get straight to it.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality.
So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to outline the. I don't really want to do a curved roofed field, but I might just. Actually, yeah. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna kind of explain it while I'm doing it. So even though I'm just curving out the main part of the cab, and you can see how the windows, because it curves out here when it ends up, connecting right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just curve the front of it, so I'm not curving the whole roof. Because usually when on my vehicles, because this vehicle's not from my community, from another group, I curve my roof and my window, but they only have the curved window. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just curve the window, and I'll show you how I do that. It's pretty simple. So for simplicity, I'm gonna just break down an entire part. So it'll be easier for me to probably I could negate and like kind of carve out the inside, and it's kind of complicated, but it probably won't be that bad too. Yeah, I think I will just do that. So actually, let me get this back here so I can finish the outline. So the important part about doing the cab is I don't like tracing it like this, because you can't because when it comes thinner parts right here, it kind of messes with the corners. So what I can do that's easier is I'd rather just carve out the interior. I mean, it's tedious, but at the same time it kind of gets me more of what I want, what I'm looking for, than trying to sit there and trace it. So instead I'm gonna end up working on right quick. So let's keep doing that. Alright, and then just go ahead. Alright, so now that we have the outline right here, we're gonna bring it over, and then I'm going to resize my object. So if I hit R, just resize. I'm going to resize it because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I cover as much surface area as I can. Yeah, I don't know how this is supposed to be. I see what they did with the design. Yeah, there's a lot of this right here, so that makes sense. So I'm going to bring it over. And then now I'm going to start with the block I'm going to break down. It doesn't matter how tall and wide I go right here because it's all going to get carved down anyways. And then I'll just bring it down here to the length I want it. And then what I'll do is I'll just use resize the line to make sure it gets to the bottom part length I want. And then as far as I went to the side. I'd rather cut down than, like I've always said that I'd rather cut down than have to add, because adding is not easy, but cutting down is. And I don't really care about the union part about this, because in my other videos, like I told you, you care about the angle because you don't want a crazy angle like this, or sorry, let me do. You don't want a crazy angle like this to make your shape. So that's why it's better to have it on 90, 0, 180, something like that. But since this is set to 0, I can just use this to select first. Then I can select the second part, union it with Control-Shift-G, and then now I have that I want. Now we're not going to worry about the, well, what I can do is, yeah, we're not going to worry about that gap because I'm going to add a piece there anyways. So we'll worry about that later. That's not the biggest problem, so we can come back to that later. And then, 1 second, change my Spotify song real quick. Y'all can't hear it because of copyright, but you know, I gotta have my own music to work with, so just changing the song. And then now we have the cab like that, and then what we can do is we can start cutting down a little bit. So if I want to cut down the front of this, let's just take this, and then we look where the angle becomes more apparent. Yeah, so where it goes here, 3, because it's a 3 angle, we're gonna get rid of the rest of this. So you want to get rid of it depends on how, it's just how I like to do my car. So the reason I did that is because I know that the angle becomes the most you know, in change about right here in the part I just had. So that means when I carve it down, you won't really be able to see much past the windshield. I've been talking to myself this whole time, which is fantastic. So pretty much like I start off saying, it's been like, you know, like literally a microsecond since the video kind of stopped and started again. But for me, it's been like 4 hours. So that's fantastic. Try not to yawn in the mic. So what I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much, I'm only trying to get the window curved, so that everything else doesn't matter. So I'm only gonna, that's why I stopped this part off where the roof is, and then I'm gonna I like to do on this side. Doesn't matter what side, but I like this side for some reason. And we're just gonna just curve it because, as y'all saw before, I'm just trying to curve the roof, or sorry, the window. So everything else is just kind of what's the word? Secondary. And then as long as this extends past the, because it's going to extend past, but it's still going to curve it down. It's still a lot of work to curve down still. So, and what I need to do is go ahead and replicate on the other side. Actually, what I'm probably going to do is reactivate this a little bit. Reactivate that. There you go. I like mine to be even, just for like, you know, just because I like it even, I just do. Then we'll go to replicate on the other side. Where's my phone at, actually? Hold on 1 second. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue what we're working on. So I'm going to show you guys. Actually, did I even? Okay, yeah, it did. So now, when I union it, perfect. So it has that curve on the front, just not the top, just like I wanted it. That's how exactly I wanted it. So now I'm going to. Right. So now I can take this. I'm pretty sure it's the curve I use for the entire part right here. Is it? It is. So now I can just kind of move it down. Right, replicate that one too, or reflect. I don't know why I keep saying replicate. It's not even. It's not replicating. It's reflecting. There we go. And then now I need to kind of carve out this part, and I haven't done that yet. So the best we can do right here is just kind of just do it. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I go about that process. I didn't put that down, and that part is probably out of space. Yep. So basically, also I'm just kind of add this in. Whenever I put something somewhere and click and jump to it, hit F. So F is zoom to. You can't even see it here, but F is zoom to is the keybind for that. So we're going to move that around. And then what I'll do is put it here. So you guys will see right here how this curve goes inwards and it goes, oops, and it goes flat here. So I'm going to use the flat edge up here, but you can see where it still kind of curves in. So I'm going to do 2 parts. So I'm going to do this part, and just for simplicity, I'm going to just do the bottom with Archimedes. So I'm going to curve this down part right here. And the biggest thing is some people are like, well, you know, it's just one color. You always want to make sure you do that, because you never know what you're going to use the car for. I might want to build a 2-tone car. I mean, or you never know. I mean, after all, I guess this is for another community, not myself. So I never know what they're going to want to use it for at the same time. At the same time, you don't want to limit yourself. I've learned a lot about when you're car building, you don't want to be like, oh, I'm not going to do that, and, you know, end up having to do it later, because that's where you have to go back on and do it. So it's better to just, it's better to, it's not the angle I wanted. It's better to, I still am trying to work and not talk. Sorry. So yeah, it's better to over to do the, you know, extra work and get some extra parts sometimes, instead of like not have it instead, because if you don't have it, you'd be like, dang, you know, I wish I did it. So instead, it's better to just have it. And then we'll go into this top half. And then what I'll do is, I'll just take this part right here, kind of, there we go, like that, and we'll just negate it from there. I just realized I did a way more complicated process than I needed to, but that's really okay. I don't really care. It's really kind of just whatever. You live and learn, so that's really the name. That's really how the game works. You really just live and learn that, you know, I could have done this easier. This is that. Happens. And so I learned I could have done this easier, and now I'm going to just keep working on it. Like how this right here could have been done differently. Yeah, so I'll show you why I'm gonna redo it, because if I use not reflect resize line, I'll see that the blue right here pokes out higher, and I know I measured that one where I want it to be, so instead I'm going to measure this entire thing to this instead. So now I can reunion everything. Union them together. But I also need to get rid of the excess blue part that's colliding. You can see the blue is colliding to the gray where it's going to be left over from the gray. So that means you need to get rid of it. So I'm going to get rid of this. So we're going to do. My studio would like to stop. Okay, that was weird. Don't know what that was. Oh. we can just. Okay, there we go. And it'll let me select for some reason. And I got rid of that exit. And what I'll do is later, I will probably go back and add another like section here and follow the willow, but for now I just don't want to worry about that. I'd rather have to go back and add that. That's one of those things you can add because it's kind of out of the way. Because I'll just explain as I go along with the video, so you understand the more I work on it. But for now, you guys can see that we actually have the cap kind of going for the most part. And what I'll end up doing is I like to carve the doors out, and then just kind of, and in that way I'll actually have the rest of it, and then I can just, I think it's better if I just explain it by actually doing it. So what I know is the doors right here are, or actually let's go ahead and think about this, because there's a two-tone color, so gotta make sure I follow the two-tone. And the best way to follow a two-tone is to go about either one or two ways. Either depends. So if I want to do the two-tone now, I'd have to work on this blue half and this gray half, or I could do the gray half and do the blue half later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the entire thing, then I'll split to blue and gray later, which in turn will make more work later, but it'll make less unioning now. I'd rather have 1,000 parts of union now instead. So I'll go ahead and mute myself and keep working on it.
Shooting star, got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that heaven's in it. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have him yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Woo. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. They saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stats, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.
Take me in slow, breathe me in and let me go. Feeling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control. Darkness take control. May the darkness take control.
All right, cool. So now, you can see I have carved out just what else I wanted. It's a little much. No, that's okay. It's really actually. Only way to make sure I left. I can always come back and fix that. But I just want to make sure I left enough room if I decide to curve this in. I can, because I've done it in the past. I have to go back and redo it, which is not fun. It's better to have thick doors and just cut off the excess. So that's not that bad. And then all I'd have to do now, and the one thing I don't like about doing with trucks, is that, so for like an example, I want to look at this car. I'm only explaining for demonstration purposes. You can see how the lines kind of go down it, and they're only attached to the roof. So it's easier to just take the top of the roof and section out the entire. Like when I do these kind of cars, I do just the curve, that goes like straight here and curves back. And then at that point, I can just kind of cut off the bottom half, make a window, cut the top off, and make this. That's why I get this and this. That's why they're two pieces. And then you can see how this is one whole piece because this is without me cutting it in half. It's easier to do it like that than to take a design like this kind of cab and have to get the lines to go down it. But I don't want to go all the way down. So that means I have to basically do 3 cuts because I have to cut the window out first, this window out first, and then I have to do the lines, but I have to make sure I don't get all the way down here. The same thing I have to do with this truck. So you can see how the line kind of stops here. But in this version, since I knew I had the window going here, they're the same color, the 30-30-30. You can see the color right here. I think you can see that. Yeah, you can. Since they were like that, I kind of was able to kind of go with the flow. But it just really depends on the vehicle. So we're gonna see if I can kind of get the way I want to. That really bothers me, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna actually go back and fix that. I also need to make sure I get the gate that goes across here. So what I'll do is, and I didn't save it, did I? No. What I'll do is, this video is already at 30 minutes. I'm going to, I hate to make a short video, but for this purpose, I'm going to make a short video, and I'll release another one later, just so I can get a video out. And then when I come back with that next video, I'm going to go ahead and just have fixed this, and I'm going to have fixed this. All I'm going to do is just ununion all this until I get this curve that goes here on top, and just shred it up on the car until it, or truck, until it just goes all the way out. It shouldn't go the entire length. It should pretty much stop, like the angle should stop like right around here. Maybe if it does the entire thing, it's okay too. Ford's kind of the design, so we'll see what we go with. But next time we continue the video, we'll kind of continue from here pretty much, and I'll show you guys how I keep finishing the cab. And then if we have time, we'll start the back. If not, then we'll just make another video. It's not the big deal, but I'll try and see if I can make another video this weekend too, and I'll get back on regular schedule. So thank you guys for watching so much. If you have any questions, leave in the comments. I'll make sure to leave my plugins again in the description. And other than that, you guys have a fantastic day, weekend, month, however it is, and I'll see you guys in the next one.